So welcome and thank you so much for joining me this evening to our October instalment of our business meeting. Got lots of stuff to cover today, so I'll get moving on everything. There's a bit of content to cover post-global convention. A lot of exciting things, as you guys have probably seen all over social media. So let's get going. So we've got the lovely Carmen Atkinson that's going to be sharing her perspective about never make assumptions, which is the third agreement from the four agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz, four agreements. It's not too late to join in on this this group reading that we're doing. We're listening to the audio and reading the book, and then once a month someone is reflecting on each of the four agreements. So I'm going to go over some convention highlights and the new release of oils. A lot of stuff to cover there, and we'll also talk a little bit about upcoming events and incentives, and of course closing thoughts, as we always do. So September, in a nutshell, it was the month of rank advancements. So we had 1 gold, 2 silvers, 4 premier, and 16 people hit elite in September, which is real evidence that you guys are getting out there and are shining your light as part of our Shine Your Light promotion. And we also have the Global Convention Tour that we've just had, and we'll be touring around Australia soon to come. Get your tickets if you want to head to a capital city and hear a bit firsthand from doTERRA corporate and some of the leaders about the products that have been released, and some of the work that doTERRA has been doing in the past year as well, and things to come. And just wanted to take a moment with you guys to just reflect on how amazing this company really is. It's just incredible what the impact that they're making on the globe with their co-impact sourcing, with their healing hands, with the advocates that are getting out there and sharing the oils with passion, enthusiasm, and we're really changing the way that we look at the health industry, and it's so cool to be a part of. So I want you guys to really realize that you're part of something special here. And a good reminder I had of this as well is aroma touch training that I did on the weekend, of which I love. And I had a lady that attended who suffers from chronic arthritis, and I was just really inspired by her and how she just she didn't let her challenges limit her. She wanted to do the aroma touch technique, and even though she struggles to stand and function and do all the things that you and I take for granted, she didn't let it stop her from coming to Aroma Touch and doing the technique. And it was just amazing to see how she was glowing, and the benefits that she gained from the Aroma Touch technique was just really, really cool. And it just was a reconfirmation of why we do what we do in helping others and changing lives in amazing and big and special ways. So without further delay, let's get to the rank advancements. So drum roll please, our big rank advancement for this month was Jill Ford, Will and Jill Ford, who both are working this business. Jill's the front lady. You'll see her doing most of the front end of housework. But Will is also, he's been really supportive. He's also contributing a lot on the technology side of things as well. He does website design and has his own YouTube channel and things like that. So they are just an absolute powerhouse couple, and it's no surprise to see them to get to gold in a little over a year. So wanted to congratulate them massively for their huge effort and amazing work that they've done. Really inspirational guys. And then we have a couple more rank advancements to go through as I try and figure out. Here we go. Olivia Reed, our friend from the other side of the ditch, a New Zealand friend. Olivia Reed, so happy to see her rank as silver, and she's really self-motivated and driven, and she just doesn't muck around. She just gets out, gets in there and does it. She doesn't have the luxury of the supportive network that we have here in Australia with our community. She's pretty much out there by herself in New Zealand, and she's just getting on with it. And we try to support Olivia as much as we can. The last 2 years, we've spent some time with her and her family and loved every moment of it. So a really well-deserved silver from Olivia Reed. Congratulations, Liv. And then we have some shining stars that are coming up through Shine Your Light program. Melissa Christensen, who is part of Jodie's team, Jodie Crowley. And it's just so cool to see Melissa and her crew really embracing the community and the oils, and just getting out there and just sharing with such passion and effectiveness as well. So these guys haven't really been around for very long, and they're going up through the ranks really quickly. So watch this space. Melissa Christensen, get used to this name. And of course, with every gold comes some rising premieres as well. So we have the lovely Alison Wong, part of Team Will and Jill, who also ranked as premier this month, and also Elisa as well, ranking as premier. So congratulations to you guys as well. Fantastic work. Really, really, really impressive. And not to forget the 16 elites that we also had rise up from the various ranks. So as part of Team Christensen, we had Samantha Gray and Monique Cinderberry. Team Kylie Lazzarini, Alison Elwin and Laura McKenzie. Team Emily Pethybridge, Alicia McGill and Monica Walter. And Team Olivia Reed, Katie Donaldson and Jay Omnet. Team Vicky Drennan, who somehow is breeding elites while she's in the States, living it up in Disneyland at the moment, and also sending us some amazing content from live from convention. Thank you, Vicky. Kim Pankyu. And then from Nicole Thomas's team, we have Nicole Ostenfield, Laurel Hore, and Amy Pryor. I hope I pronounced that right, Laurel. And I just wanted to remind you guys on this slide, why elite is such an important step. It's the first stepping stone, and what we work towards when we're launching our doTERRA business, our sharing journey, is because when you really break it down, what is a diamond? What's a presidential diamond? It's 12 elites, right? So once you have launched yourself to elite, to become a silver, you just have to show and help others, 3 others, reach elite as well. And then once you become a platinum, then you're multiplying this by 3. So you're showing 9 people how to make it to elite, right? Launching 9 elites. Bear with me for a second. I'm just going to mute somebody who's on mute using the microwave. There we go. Wanda, there we go. Sorry, Wanda. Just have to mute you, darling. Right. So back to where we were. My mouse is just everywhere tonight. Anyway, here we are. Okay. So 9 elites to get to platinum, and it takes 12 elites to get to diamond. So really, it's just that duplication. Once you've launched yourself to elite, you know how to do it, right? It's the supporting, showing others how to do the same thing. And I want you to also take this moment, and every rank advancement moment, every little stepping stone that you do in your doTERRA journey, to make sure you celebrate them as well, because you've worked hard to get here. Take some time out and do something you love to do. Spend some time with the family, maybe go on a little outing out to dinner, or go on a hot date, whatever it is that makes you happy. Do that. Make sure you celebrate. So I have the lovely Carmen Atkinson who is joining me, and hopefully I have her online. Yes, we do. And I'm going to pass you over to Carmen, who's going to do a bit of a reflection on our third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Please take it away, Carmen. I've just unmuted you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi everybody. Thanks Byron and Kylie, I suppose, for giving me this opportunity or throwing me in the deep end, however you like to put it.
Thank you for helping out.
Well, it gave me a kick up the bum to actually read the chapter this afternoon. So
Good. There you go. How's that for last minute cram?
Yeah, it's okay. I've had training.
Done well, thank you.
So I just want to preface it tonight, I suppose, by saying that I'm not generally a fluffy self-help book kind of person. I kind of approach things like this through my own lens, which I think will become apparent while I'm talking tonight. But I just basically wanted to run through the points or the phrases that really jumped out at me as I was reading the chapter. And the first one was that when we make assumptions, we think it's the truth. He says that we take it personally and then we react with blame and emotional poison. And that reminded me of that saying that when we experience stress, it's when our expectation doesn't match up with our reality. So when we assume, we set an expectation, and if that doesn't eventuate, like a person doesn't behave the way that we think they should, it can create that emotional response and make us feel stressed. And sometimes we assume because we're afraid to ask for clarification is another point that he makes. And I just thought that was so simple and yet so true. Like, how many times have you replayed conversations in your head that you've had, or you're talking to somebody and they say something and you don't quite understand and you wonder what they meant, but you don't actually ask them. You make an assumption of what they meant. And if it's something that upset you, especially, you end up ruminating and you make more assumptions and you probably get further and further away from their truth of what they meant in the first place. And I think written communication can be a real problem here as well, because you lose all of that nuance of vocal inflection and body language and facial expression, and the tone of the message is lost. So that was a big one for me. If someone says or writes something and you're not sure what they mean, don't assume, just ask for clarification. The next one I wanted to talk about was when he said that we see what we want to see and we hear what we want to hear. And that made me think of confirmation bias, because basically we like to be right? We look for evidence that confirms our pre-existing ideas of how things are or how they should be. We interpret things that happen around us through this filter that we actively create. And we're also more likely to remember things that confirm our beliefs and ideas, since memory is a reconstruction that our brains do. It's not a snapshot like a photo or a video. It's subject to our biases and different situational factors, like where we are, what we're doing when we remember. So each time the memory is reconstructed, it's reconstructed a little differently depending on those factors. It's our desire and our beliefs creating our reality. And he also talks about relationships, about making assumptions in our relationships. And I think here again, our desires and our beliefs interfere with reality. We make assumptions about what the people we love are supposed to do. You know, he talks about how we feel that we shouldn't have to tell people how we feel or what we want. They should know what we want. If they really loved and cared about us, if they really knew us, then they would know. We wouldn't have to tell them. And so miscommunication can easily arise, and asking for or giving clarification is far better than making assumptions and taking things personally when our assumptions don't eventuate. And the next part that jumped out at me was when he said that we need to justify, explain, and understand things in order to feel safe. Those of us who are control freaks will probably find this one really resonates, I think. We need to justify things and kind of compartmentalize things in our mind. We need to have an explanation and a reason for why things happen. And for a lot of us, this actually has a basis in anxiety. And he hits on this with the last part of his sentence, in order to feel safe. Sometimes we need to control things, we need to justify things. We feel, so that we feel like we understand them and that we're safe. So if you have a control freak in your life, know that they're likely highly anxious individuals, if you didn't know that about them already. But I think all of us, to an extent, don't like to ask questions or seek clarification to things because we think we should already know, or we assume that we do know, because we don't want to be seen as weak or as not having the answers to things or not understanding the people and the situations around us. So we make assumptions and we believe our assumptions. And this, as he says, can happen really fast. In psychology, we have a concept called heuristics, which are rules that we use to understand things in our world, to form judgments and make decisions. So heuristics are basically mental shortcuts, and normally they're useful and they're functional in day-to-day life, because we don't have time to examine every single little detail and weigh up every aspect of a situation. So we take these shortcuts, which again depends on our own bias and our past experiences, since we expect that something that's happened before will happen again, or if it worked last time, it will work this time, or our assumption about the person is right, and so we assume again. But sometimes, of course, those assumptions are not useful and they're not functional. And he makes the point that we assume others see life the way we do. We're afraid of being ourselves around other people because we think that they will judge us the way we judge ourselves. Often, I think we are our worst critic. If something doesn't happen the way that we hoped, we tell ourselves we didn't want it anyway. You know, we reject ourselves before other people have the chance to reject us. And that made me think about the assumptions that we make in our business. So we might assume someone in our life would not be interested in doTERRA. We don't approach them at all. We just assume they're just, they're not that kind of person. Or we might make assumptions about their financial situation. We might choose not to pitch a particular enrollment kit because we assume that they couldn't afford it, or that they would see it as extravagant or outside their budget or something. We might send someone a follow-up message. I'm sure everybody listening has probably done this. You send someone a follow-up message and you don't get a response. And so you start making assumptions that they're interested, that they think that you're hassling them, you're annoying them, that they don't like the sample you send them. They don't know how to tell you that they had a bad experience. There's any number of stories and scenarios that we tell ourselves, but when we do this, we're making assumptions and we're making it about ourselves and about our biases and our judgments and our insecurities, and not the other person at all. So the three big takeaways for me at the end of the chapter was, number one, ask questions and seek clarification. So just a simple, what do you mean by that? Can erase those assumptions. So communicate. When you communicate clearly, you're being impeccable with your word, he says, which, as we remember, was the first agreement. Everything is clear. Neither you nor the people you're with need to make assumptions if you just tell it like it is. Number two is to take action. So understanding the importance of not making assumptions is not enough. You have to take action to uphold the agreements and to form new habits and to strengthen those new habits. And number three is be who you are. Don't present a false image. Communicate who you are and accept others for who they are. So if you're clear about who you are and what you want, and so are the people that you have relationships with, Nobody needs to change or hold up a false ideal. You both don't need to make assumptions about each other. And he says that you can have love without justification and mastery of intent, spirit, love, gratitude, and life. And on that note, that is all that I have.
That's awesome. Love it. For someone who says that they're very black and white, I think you've added a lot of colour to your review there, Carmen. Did an awesome job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very impressive. And some good reminders as well for us around the anxiety. I found that's something that really stood out for me. And then also the control freak thing. The control freak thing and the anxiety. There was another point that you said that really stood out to me. But yeah, you just got to ask these questions. We don't know the judgment. That's right. If you make assumptions and you're judging someone, then you're making assumptions based on those judgments that are just conjured up in your head. It may not even be true unless we ask. So we got to ask. Have you heard of doTERRA before? Would you like to learn more about natural solutions? So very, very true. Thank you so much, Carmen. Really, really appreciate it.
No problem.
So bear with me for a second. My screen is having lots of fun at the moment. Okay. Now we're back in action. All right. So we're all the way back at the start. Who wants to watch that whole thing again? Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Carmen. That was really, really good. And these are just 4 simple agreements. If we can just bring, when things come to light, and try to find them within yourself as well. It's really easy to identify them in others when others are making assumptions, when others aren't being impeccable with their word. And it's really easy to identify that, but it's a lot harder to identify it in yourself. So if you can just think into it, find the space in between the emotional response or the programming, and don't come down on yourself like a ton of bricks. It's going to take a while to bring these 4 agreements into your life and help and change your life, in a positive way. So, yeah, it's the best thing that you can do is find that within yourself. Now, I just wanted to touch quickly on Shine Your Light. There was a couple of people have been asking a question about the points tracking sheet and LRP. So just to be really clear on it, it's for people starting on LRP and staying on LRP from September to November. So the first part of the points that you can score in Shine Your Light is a new LRP of 50 to 99 PB. So this is for somebody who you have gone through a wellness consult or perhaps just met up and talked about the Loyalty Rewards program, and they decide to start the Loyalty Rewards program in September. And that could be in October and November as well. And then the next part is for 100 PB or more. So you just get a little bit more points for that section. But just to be really clear on that part, it's for people who start LRP during the Shine period, which is September to November. And you're also going to get rewarded for points for ongoing LRP. So for additional months. So if you educate someone on LRP in September and then they stay on LRP in October and November, then you're also going to get rewarded points as well. So we wanted to really focus on the reason why we put this in the point scoring system is to encourage you for that for ongoing education and that customer retention. Because if we just enroll people and they don't get that ongoing education, or they don't get shown how to use their wholesale account and their oils, then what's going to happen is they're going to leave their oils in their cupboard. They're not going to get the benefits out of them, and then they'll eventually drop off after 12 months. So that's not something we want. We want that ongoing relationship and education, and that's what this encouragement is for during the Shine period. So you're all doing an awesome job. Just a couple of other things in Shine that have come up as well. If you do have any grapefruit that's left over from September, perhaps you've still got all 6, that's okay. We have those months. Perhaps you've got 4 or 5, that's fine. Just use the grapefruit in October until you've run out, and then let us know. So let your mentor know. The message will get relayed back to either Margie or Renee and myself, and you'll get your balance. So if you don't use all of your grapefruit again in October, then you'll get balance in November. But just keep on using that grapefruit, use it for your enrollments. It's a great incentive for people to get a kit, especially this month with the other the other promotions that we've got going on at the same time, and I'll speak a bit about those at the end. So if you haven't filled out your oil tracking or point tracking sheet, please do that and give that to your mentor. That's just so we can see that you actually have been giving the oils for enrollments. This is just due diligence. And if you're thinking about doing Diamond Club, these tracking sheets, this is a real simplified version of what you're going to be doing for Diamond Club. So this is a way to really build yourself up to being prepared for Diamond Club, and one of the intentions behind doing Shine Your Light for you guys. So we'll be sending the Balance Essential Oil out to those who are we see that are putting in effort and have used 3 or more grapefruit for their 100 PV enrollments. So if you've used 3 grapefruit, we can see you putting effort, and you've got a couple of workshops and one-on-ones booked in October, then we'll just send you 3 Balance, and then you've got another set of 6 oils for this month to go and incentivize enrollments and keep on churning through those oils and using them to encourage people to empower themselves with the kit. So once again, you guys are doing an awesome job. Just so impressed with everything that's coming out of it. You can really see how much you guys are shining your light, and just keep up the good work. So I wanted to cover some of the convention highlights. So who here has been watching the convention online? Yes, Robin and Carmen, awesome, cool. So you guys may agree with some of these highlights that I've had. Maybe you haven't seen the whole convention yet, but I'm going to show you what we really loved about Global Convention. And also just wanted to give you guys a reminder as well that going to a destination event is one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself and for your team. Global Convention in particular at the moment is just the pinnacle of doTERRA information. It's so impressive. So for me, my outstanding highlight is Prime Meridian, which is the clinic system or the clinic company that doTERRA is actually starting. And that was on Thursday in the morning. And I've listed the day and when it is because I'm going to show you where you can get access to the convention footage after we go through these highlights. Also for me, Healing Hands and Co-Impact Sourcing, just to see that Dave Sterling presents on Healing Hands, and then once again present on it on Friday afternoon it's just amazing to be a part of doTERRA and the impact that they're making on the globe. Absolutely inspirational. It's just, yeah, gobsmacked by the values of this company. For us, because we love dogs and we get a lot of people ask us about how to use oils with dogs, the veterinarian panel was also a highlight for us. Check that on a Saturday morning. Gina Truman, she also shared some great insight about her business and her journey. So from a business perspective, Gina Truman provided some really good insight to how it has been for her and some lessons and how she's applied them in building her business to Presidential Diamond. And then of course, Emily Wright, amazing as always, and sharing something in particular that I've been particularly inspired and passionate about after attending Eric Waugh's GoPro, and this is women in network marketing. So I'm the minority, guys. Like, I am the minority in network marketing. It's an outstanding figure, like 75% of people in network marketing are women. So there's only a couple of guys out there, and I'm encouraging as many guys to get involved with doTERRA essential oils as I can. But I am truly just blessed to have so many amazing women in our community, and really rising up and taking charge of what they rightfully deserve and earn. So Emily has a really inspirational speech on Saturday afternoon, which we loved as well. So to get access to the convention videos, you can get them on our Google Drive. So if you go to our website, pureoils.com.au, work with us, and then resources, which is circled on the left-hand side of the screen, and then down the bottom of that page, there's access to our Google Drive. So you just click that, and then you'll see what comes up as the Google Drive, which you can see on the right. And if you navigate through to the folder videos and then 2018 Global Convention, you will see all of the sessions that have been recorded for you to play back and to share as well with other people on your team and other people you come into contact with. So please use that. So just to go over a couple of the things that I touched on before, Prime Meridian, what this is doTERRA's creating an offshoot company where they're creating some health clinics. They've already had one in trial, and this one has been at their campus in Utah, and it's been very successful for their staff, and they're actually expanding it out to 3 more clinics in the USA. So last year, one thing we really noticed is people that walk the purple carpet at Gala, a good 50% of them, I would estimate, were doctors. So just to really see doctors embracing this holistic approach to health is really inspiring, and something that I'd love to see happen more in Australia. So this is something I encourage you to reach out to the practitioners that you're in contact with, perhaps in your network that you know, and let them know about the good work that doTERRA is doing and the benefits of the essential oils. And would you be interested in a sample? But you can see some of doTERRA's objectives there. It's all about just combining allopathic or modern medicine with holistic medicine for people, for a holistic approach to health, really revolutionizing and changing the sickness industry into the health industry. And this is something that I'm really, really excited about and can't wait till it comes to Australia. I don't have any dates yet, but I'm going to keep on putting it out there and encouraging doTERRA to make sure that it happens. Another big standout for us was the impact that doTERRA is making with these developing countries that they work with. The amount of jobs and lives that are impacted through their initiatives, Co-Impact Sourcing and Healing Hands, is just amazing. There was the kids collection as well that was shared by Emily on Thursday morning, and this is broken up into 3 sections. Sorry, something's just popped up on my screen here. Bring Hugh home. We don't care about the oils, we love Hugh. Everyone loves a bit of Hugh Jackman. Cool. So thinker, stronger, and the mind, the body, and the heart, broken up into these 3 categories, is going to be available through the convention kit. We'll talk a bit about that as well, if we're going to be able to get it or not before post-convention. I'm not entirely sure yet. I do definitely know that you can get it at post-convention. Just to touch on that really quickly, or to go over that a little bit more. But we were asking for the kids range, and we got it. So really stoked with that. So I don't know if you guys realise or had cottoned onto the fact that doTERRA has released some absolutely incredible oils, and as they should, for their 10th anniversary. So to start with, we have pink pepper, which has been sourced from Nepal. Peru. It's been sourced from Peru, processed in Guatemala at their processing facility there, and also from Kenya as well. So sourced from those 2 locations. And this is just a really diverse essential oil that can be used in the 3 main ways. But it has the potential to positively impact and benefit the majority of our systems in our body, which you can see there. Intestinal, gastrointestinal, digestive health, our liver, cleansing, cardiovascular system, kidneys. Once again, putting pink pepper in water is one of the recommended ways to use. And one of the really unique things about pink pepper is it contains some constituents that are very similar to citrus and frankincense as well. So frankincense contains alpha-pinene, and all of our citrus contain limonene. Now, these two constituents are all about cellular integrity. DNA, or the inflammation response. You'll find there's a common theme across all the newer oils is they are great at addressing inflammation concerns, which is something that we're very interested in. So the pink pepper actually has alpha phelandronine, which is very similar to alpha-pinene, but more specifically targeted or assists the apoptosis and mitosis process, which is the regeneration and killing off of cells and happening in a healthy way. And once again, just that inflammation response. So we all know what that's about. We all know what inflammation is without saying uncompliant words. And also really good for neurological discomfort as well. So our nervous system, providing some relief there too. And of course, it's high in antioxidants, right? It's a pepper. Of course, it's going to be high in antioxidants, which is great for boosting our immune system. And then Magnolia. I'm still struggling to find the oil that I'm most excited about. Magnolia is up there for me. I love my calming oils. And one of the reasons why I love Magnolia is because of its chemistry. It has the highest content of linalool across the whole floral range that doTERRA provides. So we all know lavender is really calming, and the main constituent in lavender that's calming is linalool. So we have a percentage of 71% in Magnolia, which is really exciting. Can't wait to give that a go. And then there's the hydrating body mist, something that I would have to admit that I'm not super excited about, and there's a bit of joking going on about that. Dr. Hill was really upset that he didn't get to reveal this, but it does have the beautiful blend in it, which funnily enough is beautiful. And I'm sure the ladies will love this coming into summer as well, spraying the body mist, nice and convenient. Now, yarrow pom. Who's excited about yarrow pom? Yeah, yarrow. Awesome, cool. So yarrow, one of the main reasons why I'm really excited about yarrow is because of its cardiovascular support. So one of the reasons I'm actually quite passionate about health is my father suffered from a stroke and a 5-way heart bypass when I was 16 years of age, and he was young. He was only just a little bit over 40, and he was just my hero. He was just bulletproof and could do anything. Still my hero, still love him to bits. But it really rocked my world to see the man who I really looked up to, really crippled by a cardiovascular disease and have to go through such a serious operation. So I want to help him and as many people as I can with cardiovascular health, and yarrow does exactly that. It gets in and it restores our arteries and our blood health. And the pomegranate, it's basically our carrier with the conjugated linoleic acid that is comprised in pomegranate, being one of the main reasons why the delivery method, this new delivery method that doTERRA is introducing with the dropper, and the pomegranate being an omega-5, a fatty acid, being the carrier for yarrow to be able to penetrate into our dermis, our skin, our tissues, our bloodstream, so we can get the benefits of the beta-caryophyllene, which we all heard about last year with copaiba. So yarrow is very high in the beta-caryophyllene as well. So this is going to be a life-changing essential oil blend for many people. I can just see it, and I can't wait to give this to my dad, who's coming up for retirement soon, excitedly, in January. So these are the things that yarrow is really good for cardio, vascular health, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, which is something that has been a little bit missing in, cholesterol levels, that's good. That's a whole separate topic, but there hasn't been a lot of essential oils out there that particularly will address cholesterol levels apart from lemongrass. But this is really stepping into a new realm for doTERRA essential oils, I feel, is having this oil that is profoundly effective for cardiovascular system health, of which is one of the biggest killers. I think it's either the biggest or the second biggest killer in mortality rate for people. One of the most common things to suffer from. So let's eliminate that by applying 1 to 2 drops or placing 1 or 2 drops in a capsule. And it is also good for the metabolism as well. We can apply topically, as Emily Wright showed in her presentation on Thursday morning. So check that out to see how it helps with the skin. You can combine it with frankincense and cedarwood. So we can use this internally as well as topically. Now, there was also the On Guard mouthwash, which is an alcohol-free mouthwash that doTERRA did a lot of work on to get something that could hold the essential oils and not separate. So and it wasn't an alcohol either. So they did do a lot of work, as it's not the most exciting product that doTERRA had in their product releases, but it is something they worked really hard on to provide something that is natural and alcohol free. And one of the really cool things about this product is they conducted a clinical trial, of which there's only actually 300 ever done on essential oils. So clinical trial is actually using or testing the essential oils on humans and conducting this in a double blindfold placebo environment. And they showed that 70% of the participants had their oral pH level restored to a healthy pH level during this study. So doTERRA expect a lot more of these clinical studies to be coming out with Prime Meridian, because they're going to be using essential oils on people and then providing a lot of scientific studies and articles for us to share with people that may be suffering from the same things that they're studying. So a really cool space to watch. No surprises that best use the On Guard mouthwash in conjunction with the On Guard toothpaste, and anytime you feel like you need a little bit of a rinse, let's rinse it out with some alcohol-free On Guard mouthwash. So green mandarin, as we move on through some of the other essential oils that were released and other products, Dr. Hill went on to say that mandarin has been essential oil that they have released on a limited release, and they also have released green mandarin, very short little snippet. This is going to be a permanent line now. It has an unusual chemistry and aroma because it is harvested when the fruit is green from the skin. But because it is harvested when it's green, it also doesn't contain the constituent that causes photosynthesivity, which we commonly see in citrus. So we can apply the green mandarin and go out in the sun. It's not something that I recommend doing with any citrus, but we don't have to be overly concerned about it. You will see warnings on the label just because it is a citrus, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, the chemical isn't there to make this happen. So the way that we use the green mandarin, this is really good because it's, as all citrus, it has limonene, which is great for digestive support and respiratory support, and that cellular integrity. So one way we can use the green mandarin is with yarrow pom for metabolic support. You can also put it in a veggie cap or apply topically for skin irritation as well. So green mandarin, it's a powerful oil. It doesn't seem too exciting, but it is a great oil for metabolism and digestive support, and combining with yarrow pom to get it even more benefits. So turmeric. Now, this is one to be excited about, yeah? Yes. So turmeric. Wow. We've spoken about this. Renee and I, we've speculated because we're big fans of turmeric. We're just like, we use turmeric in all of our cooking, and we know how good it is. We know its anti-inflammatory properties, its antioxidant properties, it's anti-everything, right? Anti-everything bad, so it's good. But as a oil, in comparison to a powder form, which we commonly see in alpha CRS and other turmeric supplements, it readily absorbs. So on this slide, we're talking about readily absorbs. It metabolizes differently to if we were to take the powder form and digest it. So remember, with essential oils, when we apply them to our skin or we ingest them, and sometimes even when we smell them, that has the ability to impact each and every one of our 30 trillion cells, which we're composed of, within minutes. It's immediate. So it can also pass through our cell membranes super effectively and fast too. So these are the key benefits with turmeric. Antioxidant, cardiovascular health once again. How good is this? All these people that have been struggling with cardiovascular issues, we've got some answers now, right? Some powerful ones. Great for brain function and also for our neurological system as well. So once again, really good for those inflammation response. Dr. Hill, when he's presenting on turmeric, I highly recommend watching this in the Thursday AM session on the videos that we've got in our Google Drive. Check it out. He talks about the 5 locks and the COX-2 pathway, which is basically the inflammation response within our bodies, right? And we all know what inflammation is or what inflammation causes. So this is going to be really good for inflammation and inflammation response. We can take it internally, can use it topically, and we can use it in comparison with the mandarin, to give a little bit of explanation about the 5 locks. So in combination with mandarin, because it's really good for our metabolic functions, is we can, it's becoming more diverse, more effective, because the turmeric can help the inflammation response. That's the 5 locks response, which is all about digestive. And then it can also help with the COX-2 inflammation response, which is more about our nervous system, which is the yarrow pom, which is great at supporting. So when we combine them with the yarrow pom or the mandarin, with the turmeric, we would do the mandarin with the digestive, and then the yarrow pom with our neurological or nervous system support and inflammation. Dr. Hill explains it so much better than I do, so please watch the video. Plus he's funny. All right, so copaiba. Who's excited about copaiba in the soft gel? So convenient. So we all know what copaiba is good for. We've learned about that. We've seen the benefits, but now we get in a convenient soft gel, and it's carrageenan free. So Dr. Hill talked a little bit about carrageenan, or carrageenan, he calls it, and the amount that was being received in the soft gels. Copaiba is carrageenan free, and they will look at converting all of their soft gels to being carrageenan free. But for the time being, it's just the copaiba, and the carrageenan was never at a toxic level. You'd be having 1,000 times the amount in a bowl of ice cream in what you would have in a lifetime supply of doTERRA soft gels. But to avoid the drama and the speculation, they've gotten rid of it. So that drama is removed. It saves them to work on more positive and uplifting work, which I can totally understand. Now, I just have a question here in the chats. Yeah, hope you are feeling better, Kylie. You might have to have some turmeric. So we have the balance, and to be completely honest with you guys, which I always am, the deodorant is the only product that we don't use, and the reason being is because we just don't enjoy it. We don't like it. So doTERRA has received feedback, because I suspect that we're not the only ones who feel this way about their deodorant, and they've listened and they've formulated a new, totally swimming in the oils. They've formulated a new natural essential oil, great natural ingredients, but now with balance, and soon to be coming, Citrus Bliss. So watch this space. Don't have a date yet for Citrus Bliss, but the balance deodorant will be available as of now in your back office through the US ordering system. Most of the new release products are available through the US ordering system in your back office now. Still need to confirm if we can get convention kit getting there. Right. So we have some events and promotions in October. Some really good ones. And I'm sure you guys have seen these. If you haven't, the Ice Blue promo has been extended to the 15th of October. So if you have some people that you couldn't quite get across the line in September, but maybe it was a financial thing or something like that, or they just need a little bit more time to make a choice, you have them till the 15th of October to get them over the line with the Home Essentials kit and get the Ice Blue, which is worth $107 Australian. And you will also get 50 points for enrolling them, and they will also get 50 points. So if a free Ice Blue rub and Ice Blue blend and 50 points, which is worth $60 to $70, isn't enough to encourage people to get empowered with their own kit, then I don't know what will. You know what will? It'll be the time, and that's purely all it is. But this is definitely a great encouragement. So anybody with 125 PV enrollment order or more for the next 2 months up until the end of November. So this really ties in well with our Shine Your Light program. You're giving away free oil and also free 50 points for you and the person that you enroll. So if you wanted to get somebody over the line with a 125 PV enrollment order, the Essential Collection is a great kit, which is the 5 ml 10 common oils and a fractionated coconut oil. That comes to 128 PV. You get 50 points, they get 50 points, yeah? And then you show them how to use those 50 points. Those 50 points are only rewarded after the 15th of the following month that they enroll. So if they enroll now in October, they will only see those 50 points in November, okay? Only after the 15th, typically in November. Now, sometimes we see it a little bit beforehand, but we always say to people, you'll see them after the 15th of the following month. Maybe it'll come up before. I've been wrong before, and it has come up before, but generally we always get rewarded our points after the 15th of the following month. Now, we have the products of the month. For US is lemon, and for Australia is tangerine. So really cool for us there, having the tangerine. These are some workshops that are coming up for us in October. We've got our Get the Most Out of Your Oils. Renee's doing another digestive health workshop, which is really popular. This one's actually going to be at night on Thursday. We've got all Thursday sessions this month. And then I'm going to be doing my Balance Emotions Make and Take workshop on the 25th. And of course, we have the Central Coast Essential Oil Expo that is coming up too. So some really exciting stuff to look forward to there. Still sorting out that our venue, but we're 99% sure that we'll have Womble Surf Club. I'll give you guys some images to share, some flyers to share around the neighbourhood as well. And really looking forward to hearing from you guys and sharing your experiences with the oils and sharing your passion. So yeah, this is a really cool event that we encourage everyone to get involved with and come along and bring people to see the light, right? To see what this whole fuss is about the essential oils. Why are we so essential oil crazy? Come and find out on November 11th. Now, this is the big thing, the fuss that's going on at the moment, because the US have this 200 PV promo, which is really cool. You get this car diffuser and you get these 3 oils for doing a 200 PV order. And in the US, you can also get the Dream Tour collection, which is the convention kit minus lemon myrtle. We will have a planning meeting for the expo, absolutely, yes. So the US residents can definitely get this kit, and they can get it as part of their LRP as well. I checked after 5 p.m. today to see if we could get the kit, if I could get it through my account. I've been told by corporate that the only way to get the kit, the convention kit, is through the post-convention tour. But at the same time, they don't get told a lot about the US NFR ordering system and if it will be available for Australia. So they couldn't be 100% sure if that was the case. So to sum it up, I still don't know if this will be available for us in Australia. I can say that it will the post-convention tour, you will definitely be able to get a kit at the post-convention tour that's touring around all the capital cities. As soon as I find out if we can get this through LRP and from the US through our ordering system and take advantage of this 200 PV promo from the US, then I'll let you know. But at this stage, I don't know for certain if this is going to be available at all for Australia. So I hope that clears up some questions there for you guys. So once again, Oil Academy running from the 9th. I had a really good Oil Academy last month, had a lot of engagement, people giving us some great feedback on the content in our Oil Academy. Please add your people to this group who like to learn at their own pace. And perhaps that is through social media as well. I've also just posted something in our support group, which is a series of emails on how to get the most out of your essential collection or your family physician kit. So there's so many ways to learn now, guys. If you don't do social media platform, then there's the email platform as well. But this has been proved to be really beneficial for the people that actually engage and go through the content in our Oil Academy. And once again, we're going to be running our Spring into Spring sampling promotion in October. This will be from the 16th to the 20th. I'll provide all of the resources like I do each month as soon as I can, and create this group, etc. I'll provide that information. It will be this URL. You won't be able to find it yet because it's not there, it doesn't exist, but it will. But we know that it will definitely be running from the 16th to the 20th. Feel free to give me some feedback on that, guys, as well, the dates. I'm finding that the 3rd week of the month is a good time to run the sampling promo, because that gives us enough time at the start of the month to get our samples out. And then it gives enough time at the end of the month to actually be able to follow people up and be able to educate them a bit more, give them a good understanding about the kits and the wholesale account and help them get across the line. So please just send me a PM or an email. Let me know if you think we can do this a little bit differently. But I'll be running the spring into spring all the way up into November. And then we'll have a bit of a break over December and January, given that these months are just a little bit more chaotic and people don't generally want samples. They've got enough going on in their life and stress, etc. We don't stress people out even more. We can teach them how to use lavender and now magnolia, but we'll be running this in October and November, break in December and January. Now, in my closing thoughts, I was inspired by, once again, this amazing lady, Tony Kay, who came along to Aroma Touch on the weekend. I was really just impressed by her attitude around not making excuses of getting to Aroma Touch and doing this day, even though the odds were against her. She can't stand. She can't even lay on a table to receive the Aroma Touch, but we found a way. And the reason is because she made a choice. She made a decision that she was going to make it happen. And I saw this picture pop up in our memories feed just the other day. And this was for 2015. And Renee and I were just baby silvers. We'd done our first year of Diamond Club. And we really made the decision. We're starting to build a lot more confidence in getting out there and sharing effectively. We had made that choice that we were going to make something of this, and we just got in there and we did it. And yes, there's been some challenges, right? So we've had to have some growth to overcome those challenges, but we're 100% committed to doTERRA and building our business, and it purely just came down to a choice and a decision that we made that we would do it and we would stick with it and we'd hold each other accountable and we would make it happen. And that's what's got us there. That's the biggest thing that has got us there, is making that decision that we made that we would make it happen. So I encourage you to really assess, like, have I gone all in? Am I all in? Have I got my toes in? Have I got one leg in? Am I sort of just on the edge? Do I have full belief? Will this work? You have to completely believe that you will make it happen if you want to make it happen, and you can achieve anything that you want. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you joining me. Feel free to take yourselves off mute, ask some questions, and I will even stop the recording. So those that are watching the recording back, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you next month in November. And I'll be asking you the question of who's doing Diamond Club, and we just had Jill come online, so I'm going to stop recording and say hello.
Hello.